Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good morning everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com weekend update show. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody is having a great weekend. And who is not excited for the Final Four today to see who goes on for the Super Bowl, right? Very, very exciting Sunday. So all you guys, hopefully everybody will get what they want. But more important is we are off. It's Sunday. Let's talk about the tape, right? Let's talk about the tape. This has been the biggest rally since Reagan took office in 1985. This is going back to when I was like 11 years old, right? So this is a long, long time ago. It feels like a long, long time ago. So market continues to do very, very well. For all you guys who've just been following along, just from the point of the technical point of view, you could clearly see when we started talking about what happens when the market gets below the 50-day, we start selling. And now that we're back above the 50-day moving average, well, the market is doing very, very well. Again, if you look at the final numbers going into last week, well, closing off last week at the S&P and the NASDAQ up another 1.7%. And you got the Dow Jones going up another 2.2%. So really, really aggressive start to Trump's second term. I think the market took a little bit of a little bit of step back to really appreciate that he did not smack the tariffs down right from the word go. And again, he's been doing a lot of things. We've been kind of following along a lot of initiatives that he's been talking about. He's been kind of already starting the ball rolling. However, there is a Feb first deadline for potential tariffs to be slapped on Mexico, Canada, and China. So we'll see exactly what happens there. There's still about 5 days to see if they could kind of work out some sort of agreement or some sort of understanding. But Feb 1st is going to be kind of an important day to see if Trump starts, basically taxing, right? Basically taxing other countries. So we'll see exactly what happens then. Big week coming up ahead. You got 20% of the S&P 500 companies reporting, which kind of is a big deal. Last week, you had Netflix kicking off the mega cap earnings season, which they did pretty well, right? They did very, very well. I think, it's pretty obvious. I think what they did was they did very, very well with not only the Tyson-Paul fight, even though it was a complete fiasco, and they did really, really well covering the NFL. Again, the first broadcast was a little bit of a glitch, but as you like in life, like in trading, like in marriage, like in being a parent, you figure things out as you go along. So Netflix definitely took advantage of the new subscribers, kicked off earnings season, did very, very well. This week we have, a rock star, right? We have a rock star roster of reporting. You have Microsoft, you have Meta, you have Tesla on Wednesday. Wednesday, you're also getting the first FOMC in Trump's second term, which is obviously going to be very, very important. And then you have Apple's earnings on Thursday. And then next week, obviously, you have everything else, Amazon, so forth and so on. But very, very important going into this week. Obviously, earnings will definitely set the tone of what we think is going to happen, but so far, so good. Once again, once the bulls reclaim back on January 14th, the 50-day moving average, again, you can see risk goes back on. This week, we saw some pretty big things coming from the Trump camp, the $500 billion AI infrastructure that really took tech to a really higher level this week. Amazon did very, very well this week. Microsoft did very well this week. ARM, NVIDIA, even LRCX caught a little bit of a bid over the weekend. I just literally, sorry, I'm not really too active going through headlines or whatever the case may be, but over the weekend, it looks like that Oracle, right, will be, at least for now, the front runner to acquire TikTok. There was some stories involved that Microsoft could have some sort of benefits there as well. But it looks like Oracle, right? Looks like Oracle is the front runner to acquire TikTok. So we'll see exactly how that plays off then. So individually, right? Individually, if you look at a lot of names, look, you can make a case that this is still the honeymoon stage, the first couple of weeks. Obviously, this is the first. This is the first full week of the Trump presidency. But we want to see exactly how the market starts reacting on earnings. Again, the honeymoon stage is great. Again, for anybody who's been married, I've been married since 2000, right? So I'm going on my 25th year. 25th year for being a couple, right? A couple, like a lot of you guys, the first couple of weeks, couple of months, the honeymoon stage. And then you start living together. And then you start realizing, well, the other person you marry is not imperfect, again, is perfect. So you start seeing all the things that start to annoy you. And that's what the market is going through a little bit of the honeymoon phase. Let's see how long the honeymoon phase can last. And then we'll see, obviously, the national market to play out. If you look at the individual names, let's kind of talk about them. Tesla reports on Wednesday. On Wednesday, right? Ever since Tesla had this kind of, which you can really say this failed breakout. At first, we were like, well, maybe Tesla kind of just had a little bit of a glitch. And the next day is going to rally. This was a failed breakout, right? And you can see here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row of lower highs, right? And on Friday, it started breaking down a little bit, just a little bit. Nobody's talking about, it's going to Armageddon zero. But right before earnings, there is a macro channel here that I'm definitely be watching for Monday. You see this whole macro channel here, guys, right? It started all the way back January 15th. So 9 days ago, tomorrow will be day 10. So you have a 2-week worth of consolidation here. And if Tesla starts getting below this, January 15th support, we could get a trade out of it. I mean, again, I don't think it's going to be like 12, 15 points, but I think, 4 to 7 points into the 34. Again, I'm not looking to recreate the wheel here. I understand Tesla's not going to make any type of aggressive statement until after earnings, but it's not looking great. I mean, with every single, pretty much with every single tech stock rallying this week, it just couldn't get its head above water. So I think we possibly can get a trade. Is it possible they run Tesla up Tuesday into Wednesday? Sure, right? Again, I'm not looking for a definitive kind of move before earnings, but from the cash flow point of view, is definitely something that I want to watch. Microsoft, let's keep an eye on how it's going to react. I thought Microsoft did a great job the last couple of days of kind of going through distribution. You have a kind of a double inside day on this massive move of when Trump announced the AI, when he announced the AI investment. Let's watch Microsoft. Again, I don't know how it's going to react over the weekend, at least initially, with a potential Oracle buying TikTok, because I know they're still in the mix. But in case they don't, right? In case they don't put any pressure on it, we should watch it, because a double inside day, sellers are very comfortable at these levels. This whole bar is still superly intact. So let's watch this thing. If this thing can start getting above the January 22nd channel, maybe this thing really wakes up. So let's keep an eye on that. Meta finally broke out. If you've been watching the broadcast for the last several days, you kind of know. I've been watching Meta. It looks like, it looked like there was some pretty decent call buying coming in on Friday. We saw some pretty aggressive leaps coming in. We saw some 1,100 calls. This is for 2026, 2027. We saw some 1,250 calls come in, and that really kind of lit it up. Even though it was like a year, 2 years away, you could see you had a big distribution here going back to December 11th, and Meta had a great move here. We still have a little bit of a runner over the weekend. Again, I want to see how Meta responds to the TikTok news as well. Again, who knows? Maybe it gaps down 5, maybe it gaps up 10. Who the hell knows? But the point is, this is the highest close in the December formation. And as you saw on Friday, it had a little bit of news. I think Zuckerberg made a statement about having like $65 billion war chest for AI. Initially, for whatever reason, they took down the stock like 8-10 points pre-market, and then they just absolutely exploded the stock throughout the rest of the day. And it actually held up very, very well throughout the day. So again, one to watch on Monday for a potential second day run. Then you got NVIDIA, right? You have NVIDIA. Obviously, NVIDIA was awesome this week. Again, here's a perfect example to do. This is now twice in the last month. We caught this thing off the 50-day reclaim, right? That 50-day reclaim, folks, it does not come every day. It just doesn't, okay? When it comes there and you have massive option flow, deep out-of-the-money calls, or, well, in this case, calls, with short-term expiration, again, you want to press the gas. You want to get very, very aggressive. Macro trades are either long distribution, at least 3 to 4 weeks long, creating a channel, or a stock reclaiming back its 50-day, which is very, very important for the direction of the trend. And you can see here, NVIDIA had a great run, had a great 2-day run, put in a high of 49, reclaimed the 50-day. A little bit of a nasty reversal on Friday, just because, again, big move. When you have a big move going from 138 to 149 in 3 days, yeah, you're going to have a little bit of violent reversal, but it did hold. It did hold the 5-day moving average. If there is a little bit more weakness this week on it, I would like to start buying this thing back above testing the 50-day moving average. That would be great, because a lot of times you see a stock breakout, come back into the 50-day moving average, retest that breakout level, hold it, and then just start the next leg up. So that would be in a perfect world, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here. But yeah, I definitely would love to see NVIDIA retest the 50-day moving average so we can go long on a bounce. You have names, for example, like Amazon, right? Amazon is doing great, absolutely great. It broke out a couple of days ago. We're talking about the macro breakout on Amazon. You can see it's just kind of straddling the 5-day moving average. Again, didn't really implode like a lot of names on Friday after the pretty big reversal. Again, we've been seeing some pretty hefty call buying coming in. Keep this in mind. If you look at all the CEOs that were surrounded Trump in his inauguration, right? All of them benefit. Okay, keep an eye. Tesla obviously benefited, right? Larry Ellison. Maybe people say, "Well, why is Larry Ellison there?" Well, TikTok, right? Larry Ellison benefited. Okay, and then you have Jeff Bezos. Even though he's the chairman, he's not the CEO right now. He's the chairman. But what's he there for, right? What's his big thing? The other guys already benefited. Mark Zuckerberg already benefited, right? What does Amazon benefit from? To be determined. This is why the stock is holding up fairly well. Again, until it starts losing its uptrend, continue to buy this thing into dips. Apple continues to be a disaster, right? Is absolutely a disaster. Again, here's my point about when you lose the 50-day moving average, unlike the rest of the market, you don't know how long your stock is going to be under there, right? Granted, they do report Thursday, but look what happens when you lose the 50-day moving average. Again, just for new viewers, you have 240 lost the 50-day, stock trade all the way down to 219. Is this the end of the world if you're a long-term investor? Of course not, right? Apple's earnings come out, and who knows, maybe the stock is at 250, maybe the stock's at 275, but hey, what if they're bad, right? What if they're bad? But at least you have signs of what happens, at least ahead of the earnings once the stock is below the 50-day. So again, Apple below the 50-day, bad. NVIDIA above the 50-day, good, right? That's the whole point of the 50-day moving average. So if you've never kind of picked up anything from me along the way, just remember, 50-day, good, below, bad, right? So that's that as well. What other names? Let me give you guys some names I'm also watching for this week. Keep an eye on Shopify, right? Keep an eye on Shopify. You can see here, it's been below the 50-day moving average since January, right? And January, when it lost the 105 level, traded down to like 99, not a big deal. So it's starting to kind of put in, which is actually very, very bullish if you look about it. Kind of glass half full scenario. Stock is putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of the 9 days, it's put in 8 out of 9 days, higher highs and higher lows. The problem on Friday, it got rejected off the 50-day moving average. Watch it for this week. If Shopify can reclaim back the 50-day moving average, risk is back on Shopify shares. So keep an eye on that. I like this stock RPRX, right? I don't know anything about it. It looks like a biotech. Not really my thing, but it does look pretty good. It does look really, really good here. Tight consolidation. Sellers are comfortable. Looks like it's ready to start attacking the top of the range. You can see here the volume bars are starting to expand. So all this thing needs to do is get above the January 16 channel. This thing could start is next leg up. So tomorrow, we have a slew of things to consider this week. We have earnings season kicking off very aggressively with, again, Microsoft, Meta, Apple, Tesla. You have 20% again of the S&P reporting this week. You have a Fed meeting coming up this week. You have tariff kind of hopefully resolution as of February 1st. So we have a lot, right? We have a lot to digest. The most important part is, especially if you are an active trader, again, that's what I am. I'm an active trader. I don't know where the stock is going to be 2 years from now, 2 weeks from now, 2 days from now, okay? I'm getting ready for tomorrow, okay? And so the most important part is collect the data and wait for the data to be confirmed. Guys, God bless everybody. Have a great weekend. Hope everybody's doing well. And with God's help, I will see you all on Monday. Take care.